the weather at your location right now. Is it sunny? Is it raining? For those of you who are still in the morning or in the afternoon, like maybe if you are in the United States or Canada, it should be morning into afternoon right now. But if you're in Asia, it should be midnight into Saturday morning. So please let me know the state of the weather in your location, and welcome to Mentored. This is the platform that promises you growth, self-development, and transformation. And I'm so glad that you are here. And again, I sincerely apologize that we are behind schedule again. Please bear with us on that. I mean, just before we went live, I was having a little banter with our crew here in the studio. I kept waiting for them to give me the countdown to know we're going live, but I didn't hear anything from them. And or perhaps they had told me I was live. So, just had a little and all, but we're here again. And good evening to every one of us. Today is going to be questions and answers, and I'll be ready to take as much questions from every one of us as possible with regards to the last topic we discussed about, which of course, for those of you who saw the post for today's broadcast, we're able to look and realize that we're still on the subject we discussed about 2 weeks ago. We couldn't hold a meeting or a broadcast last week because we had a program physically that just took our time, and we knew that we were not going to be able to start on time, and so we didn't bother to have the broadcast. But then again, we're here, and it's so good to have us here again. Thank you to every one of us, our returning viewers. Thank you so much for always being a part of this show. And thank you for those who are watching for the first time, whether you're watching by YouTube or Facebook. Good evening to you from Nigeria. Let me know where you're watching from, what city, what nation, so we can have an idea of the various locations and territories that have been covered by this broadcast. Thank you so much for being a part of Mentored. And just a minute, we are going to begin the show. So I'd like you to hit the like button and share this broadcast right now. Hit the like button and share this broadcast right now. Okay? Do that, and then we will proceed. Are we on Facebook as well? Okay. No, it's not connected. Can't see Facebook here. Will be this one. All right, we're back again. Thank you for staying tuned. This is Mentored, and I'm excited that we are here. We are going to begin with a word of prayer and then get into the broadcast for today. Somebody said freezing and complete overcast. That's the weather in the in your location. What part of Africa is that? Please let us know. Okay, so like and share, and let's get on with the show today. Let's begin by a word of prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, thank you for everyone watching right now, and we receive your wisdom and deeper understanding on this subject, enough to bring practical transformation in our lives. And so help us, God, in Jesus' name. Amen. The path to building self-worth. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, and we want to conclude on it and also give time for questions and answers. You know, interaction is a very important part of this broadcast because we get to relate with the subject matter based on what we have at heart, based on our understanding, and then get to also know from my end how much understanding we have on this subject. So that's why interaction is greatly important. And I'm just so happy that we'll have today to really attend to questions and to answers. Whilst I'm waiting for us to get ready with our questions, I'll just give us a brief recap on what we discussed 2 weeks ago on this subject matter. Then again, please hit the like button and share this broadcast with as many as you can. Let someone know that we are live right now and we are doing justice to this subject matter. The path to building self-worth. I gave us definitions of self-worth. We said that self-worth is having to build yourself and be sure of this. Okay, so what is self-worth? Self-worth is the intrinsic belief in one's own value, independent of external achievements or validation. Intrinsic belief in one's own value. And this belief this value is independent of your external achievements or external validation that you get from people around you. Self-worth is the unconditional internal belief that you are valuable and deserving of love simply because you exist, independent of external accomplishments, wealth, or others' opinions. Almost the same, but a little bit elaborate there. Now, this gives us the understanding that self-worth has nothing to do with your accomplishments. It has nothing to do with people's validation of your person. Notice it is called self-worth. That's why we are on the conversation of this word value. Value beyond achievement. value beyond accomplishment, value beyond human validation. That's self-worth. You're recognizing and believing in this value of yourself beyond your achievements, beyond your accomplishments, beyond people's validation of you, is what we refer to as self-worth. Beyond people's opinions. Building self-worth requires shifting focus from external validation to internal acceptance. Shifting focus from external validation to internal acceptance. We talked about things like compassion, self-compassion, setting healthy boundaries, challenging negative self-perceptions, and all of that. And we'll go there. Self-worth is also having to build yourself with values that you appreciate and that aligns with your purpose. We differentiated between self-worth and self-esteem. We said that self-worth is unconditional, while self-esteem can fluctuate based on external factors. And I think that's where the difference really is. Self-esteem will mostly look at external factors like what you have accomplished, what you've achieved, what you can do, what you have, people's opinion about you, people's validation. People get to build their self-esteem on these things. But self-worth is internal, independent of any of this. Independent of whether you succeed or fail. It's not a question of success or failure. No. That's why I also believe that your self-worth will increase depending on how much self-love you have. And that's a new point, actually. Your self-worth will increase depending on how much self-love you have. How much you love yourself. Because you must see yourself valuable enough to be loved. For you to increase in self-worth. I mean, even in the Holy Book, Jesus said that we should love your neighbor as you love yourself. We talked about signs of low self-worth. If you see any of these signs, know that that person is low on self-worth. The value they place on themselves is low, is depreciated if you find any of these signs. Number one, difficulty in taking risks or being brave. And mostly it's because they are afraid of failure. Difficulty in taking risk or being brave. Another reason is because, they don't really get to see what's in it for me. Number two, we said one of those signs of self-worth is when you care about how other people perceive you. When you care about how other people perceive you. And this is common in our social media age. How many of you watching me right now, maybe a content creator, or you do something online, you put it out there and get to go back and check that content again to find how many likes or at least how many views. The reason why people do that and they end up either getting encouraged or discouraged by how many likes or how many views is because they care about other people's opinion. They care about other people's validation. And I think it's time for us to just build values on ourselves, not based on what people say, but because of how much of yourself you know, you love, and you value. The truth is, don't use other people's opinion or validation to judge if you are doing the right thing or not necessarily. Don't necessarily wait for people's encouragement or people's validation of what you do to encourage you. No. Do you know that you can do something very good that is not appreciated? And just because you have a lot of likes does not mean that you did a good thing. That's the truth. I pray that this truth sticks to many people. We use people's, and God knows where they got the basis for their judgment, but we use people's opinion to judge if we are doing well or not, if we are doing good or not. And so because you put a content out there and it doesn't have so many views or so many likes, you just realize, you just tell yourself, well, maybe I didn't do a good job. No. That's as opposed to the reality of self-worth. You know, when God created the earth in Genesis, I want to ask a question. Who did God ask to say, this work I did, is it good? Anybody that has the answer, put it out for us there. Who did God go to and say, I beg? Like, you know, in Nigerian vernacular English, I beg, help me check who this man where I create, he fine or he no fine. I beg, this one, this vegetation, and this one. The Bible simply says God saw that it was good. That means good was within the context of God's personal understanding of good. He had an internal sense of judging what was good. He knew that he did what was good because he believed in what he did. So, one of the signs of low self-esteem is when you care about how other people perceive you. And let this encourage anybody who is a content creator or anybody doing something out there on social media. Listen to me. If you look for people's views and likes, you will never go far in what you do. In fact, many people who are successful content creators or streamers online, what they do now is not really different from what they used to do before they became famous. They just loved what they did and remained focused on it. And then woke up realizing one day that everybody had subscribed to what they're doing. I think life will answer to consistent people. Life answers to people who believe in what they do well enough not to need other people's validation to endorse what they do. So if you care about how other people perceive you, you are low on self-worth. And I'm not saying that don't care about people's opinion. No. I'm just saying don't use it as the only yardstick to judge the authenticity of what you do. Sometimes your world just needs you to be original. Just do what only you does and remain unique in it. You know, one of the things that motivates me and keeps me going in what I do is my satisfaction is from within, it's not from people, to be honest. I just find joy doing what I do. That's all. That I'm doing something. That's it. That's all my motivation. My trouble is when I'm not doing anything at all. But as long as I'm doing something, I'm okay. The largest room in the world, they say, is the room called improvement. And I'll keep getting better at it. You are not in competition with anybody. You are not in a race with anybody. The race of life and destiny is individual. Number 3, signs of low self-worth. Perpetual fear of failure. Always afraid that you will fail. And most times it's because of number 2. It's because you care of how people perceive you. You care of the names people will call you. You already imagine them in your head. And so you have this constant phobia for failure. And I never seen anybody succeed consistently when they are consistently afraid of failure. Number 4, core dependency. Is this core dependency? Is it core dependency? Codependency, not core. Always having to depend on somebody else. There are people who will never do anything else except somebody helps them. Remember those people in class those days, in high school, in university. Even if they do an assignment, they must come to school and copy their friends before they can submit their assignment. Yeah. So, Mercy, what you do? Mercy, what you do? That's how we say it in Nigeria. Say, Mercy, what you do? Mercy, what you do? Never would they do something on their own and go and submit. Somebody responded to me. I'm sure that was my question of God. Who did God ask to know if what he did was good or at creation? Usiju said he asked nobody, sir. Good. Then why are we always asking people to know if what we are doing is good enough? Why do you learn to trust other people's sense of judgment as against your own, when they have the same kinds of limitations as you? Codependency is one point. Then there is crappy boundaries or self-abandonment. So when you don't have firm boundaries around your life and what you do, at the same time, when you abandon yourself, when you don't take care of yourself, when you don't watch out for yourself, these are all signs of low self-worth. We talked about that. And then you can also put up other signs of self-worth that you have discovered. I also spoke to us about 4 ways to build self-worth. We discussed that. Number 1, practice self-compassion. Learn to love yourself and be compassionate towards yourself. See yourself as one who deserves every good treatment that you may want to give to yourself. In fact, it is out of the compassion for yourself that you can draw compassion extended to others. That's why it is said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, meaning you can't truly love someone else if you don't love yourself. So practice self-compassion. Don't always be too hard on yourself when you get it wrong. Punishment is not the only way out when somebody's wrong. No. Of course, punishments are good, but you mustn't always draw stringent rules on yourself. No. Sometimes you just need to realize that you are human and you may get things the wrong way. Some other times you need to give yourself the break to improve. Practice self-compassion. Self-compassion also extends to how you take care of yourself. So if you walk without resting and thinking because you walk, you succeed. Maybe because you watched a documentary on somebody, one of the billionaires, one of the top 1% of the world, say, you have to walk before you I heard a billionaire said that his boss told him that if you want to spend without checking your balance, you must walk without checking the clock. That may sound like a good advice until work puts you on a hospital bed. I'm sure you are going to spend your drugs, or you are going to spend your time on that bed. Walk as much as you rest, and rest enough so you can walk. It's not an advice for laziness. It's an advice to take care of yourself. So self-compassion also extends to taking care of yourself. I've discovered the reason why many people crash, because they don't have self-compassion. You don't pity your head when you are always tasking it with work. When was the last time you recreated? When was the last time you gave your head to a little fun? You don't pity your eyes. You're always on the system, working day and night. If the parts of our body was to complain, I'm sure some of you, they would have asked God to remove your name from the book of life. Well, some of us we are not really considerate about ourselves. And you know where that lands you? When you are needed the most, that's when you crash. So practice self-compassion. I mean, you need to be in the studio here now. You need to hear the noise from my crew. All right. So I think I'm speaking truth now. Number 2, set healthy boundaries around your life. Yes. Set healthy boundaries around your life. Your time, your resources, your relationship and dealings with people, everything around you. Don't apologize for setting boundaries. Don't apologize for being principled. Your life can only produce predictable results and outcomes when you are principled. So set healthy boundaries. Don't allow anybody infringe on your space, your time, your emotions. No. Set boundaries. All right? Boundary is a sign of order. Everything has a boundary. Otherwise, it becomes excess. And everything in excess is not good. Everything is in excess is not good. Everything in excess is not good. There is nothing in excess that is good. Everything in excess is not good. Yeah. Number 3, challenge every negative self-talk by inculcating positive self-talk. I love that. Every negative self-talk, challenge it by building for yourself positive self-talk. What do you mean by positive self-talk? Affirmations. Words of affirmations. Maybe you write down certain things that you hold as your values, positive affirmations, and confess them to yourself again and again. Use that for self-motivation. That's how you'll be able to challenge negative self-talk. People talking negativity around you, or negative emotions, or negative thoughts. You know, sometimes the war is within. Number 4, surround yourself with support. Find people who believe in you, who support your values, people who acclimatize with your belief on self-worth. Surround yourself with these kinds of people. There will be great support for you in the days ahead. Number 5, recognize inherent value. Look within you. There will be so many valuable things you will discover around you. In fact, your greatest strength is in enhancing your innermost values. The raw, inherent potentials within you. Your greatest strength is in harnessing. Those are the things that make you unique. So recognize them and build them. Number 6, engage in self-care. This is similar to number 1, but a little different. Engage in self-care. Yes, engage in self-care. Engage in self-care. It's okay to go for a spa once in a while. It's okay to go for a massage if you can afford it. Eat well. Find time to relax. Have some fun. You know, just take care of yourself. Network. Okay, yeah, it's excellent now. Okay, still waiting for our questions. I think I'll have to give us assignment today. Mhm. So whilst I'm waiting for our questions, I will write down assignments for us. Practical assignments so we can go back and do them. Even you people will do this assignment. So ready yourself. Get yourself ready. All right, no question. No question. Okay. I'll give us an assignment today. There's a question. Okay. How do you handle situations where actions that reflect your self-worth are misunderstood as pride by those around you? Very intelligent question. Okay. Tell us, maybe give us an example of such actions. So we'll see how you can work on interpreting to your audience. How do you handle situations where actions that reflect your self-worth are misunderstood as pride by those around you? Good evening, sir. How far how can we draw the line? I guess. How can we draw the line and create a balance? Okay, I think this has to do with high self-worth versus pride. Okay. So let's start from that last question. Well, let me finish these assignments first of all. Individuals who Okay, let's try to attempt this question. There are 3 now. Hey, 4. All right. Let's start from Mr. Osazua's question. How far can we draw the line and create a balance? And I guess that is between the balance between high self-worth and pride. Of course, high self-worth, when not properly checked, can lead to pride because, like I said, the excess of everything is not good. You become too conscious about yourself. Self-worth is simply recognizing, believing in, and placing value on your inherent potentials. It's about you looking inward and appreciating that there is value inside of you that should be recognized and appreciated. It's supposed to help for self-motivation. However, pride is when you now become too conscious of you and more concerned about the things you have achieved. Remember, we said self-worth is independent of achievement and accomplishment. But you see, pride is always based on what you have done. Everybody boasts with what they have. Everyone who boasts with what they have accomplished, what they've done. So self-worth is not pride. You're simply looking inward to appreciate the value that you have within. Appreciating it well enough to build it so that it can be a blessing to you and to those around you. Because when a potential is not recognized, it remains hidden, it remains inherent, and cannot be developed well enough to positively influence and impact both the individual that has it and those without. So I don't know if that's a short but profound answer to Mr. Sazwa. Okay, Keziah's question. How do you handle situations where actions that reflect your self-worth are misunderstood as pride by those around you? Of course, there will be moments like that where people will misunderstand you. Everybody faces that again and again. But then, sometimes with self-examination and appraisal, what is the people's reaction to? When we look at all the ways by which you build self-worth, let's look at all those practices again. If you really go by this, at least these 6 practices, it will be difficult for people to misunderstand your actions as prideful. Yeah. Number 1, self-compassion. Even people, when consoling you, will tell you, don't be too hard on yourself. Isn't it? Number 2, you set healthy boundaries. This is the one that people would usually want to say, oh, she's too prideful. But you not allowing toxic people in your space. Most often it is the toxic people that will be the ones, when you practice this rule number 2, to say you are prideful, as opposed to the opinions of other people who understand and recognize the importance of self-worth and know that you must set boundaries. The truth is, anything without a boundary will not be appreciated. Anything without boundaries will not have definition, will not have identification, will not be recognized, and cannot be harnessed. So you may as well just have one set of people who may look at you when you set boundaries around your life. You are guarding your time, guarding your associations, and all of that. Meanwhile, there are other people who are on the extreme of practicing number 2. There are other people who, for lack of building authentic social skills, will want to hide under the fact that I'm setting boundaries for my life. No, listen, learn to relate with people freely. Yes, but be sure of the people you allow into your space. Be sure of them. Now, how can you be sure of them? You interact with them first. Relate with them. As you talk with somebody, you get to know who this person is. I mean, it is written that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So how do you know who a person is? If you judge them before hearing from them. So sometimes people take the practice of this rule number 2 to the extreme. For some other people, they have poor social skills. And it's nothing wrong in having a poor social skill. There are some people who are poor in relating with people. Some people say, well, I talk with those who talk with me. You are still poor. Until you learn how to freely interact with all kinds of people. That doesn't make you a talkative. And it's not something we hide under being a temperament of, oh, I'm a shy, this, I don't know. Listen, relationships are the currency of life and destiny. Life revolves around relationship. You neither should be a talkative nor should be a quiet person to interact with people. It's the regulation that keeps you away from the extreme of being a talkative, a nuisance, or being an extremely quiet person. And there are people who are so quiet and shy and don't get to relate with people. When you check and analyze their life, it is coming from maybe past experiences or a framework from their background. Some people have not had it good interacting with people in the past. Some people have struggled with self-esteem from their background. You know, when you say these things, sometimes you wish people can just be realistic. When you say some of these things and point out the core of people's problem, if they can be realistic enough to own up to say, yes, this is part of my issue, or this is where I get it wrong, then you can provide solutions. So any of these rules for building self-worth, there's no way you practice them. It will be difficult for people to say you are prideful. And there'll just be a few who may say that. See, that's the reason why one of the signs of low self-worth is when you care about how other people perceive you. Different people always have their opinion of you. When you decide to be sociable and interact with people, some will say you are a talkative. When you decide to be quiet and keep to yourself, some will say you are proudful. Since they will give you a name for standing on one of the two, at best just do the one that will help you and interact with people that can help you. Perhaps when you interact with people like yourself who understand the value of self-worth, they will read you in a different light. So, make sure you practice the rules that help you to build self-worth. But find a way to also communicate to the people around you that they understand, especially people you hold closely to yourself or people you are accountable to know that your practice of self-worth is not a sign of pride, and it's not a sign that you want to have nothing to do with people. So I don't know if that's an answer to that question, or maybe the person will need me to throw more light on that. Question number 3. Perhaps consistently standing out whenever a task is assigned at work, home, or in any other setting. Some popularly call it ITK. It's true. They'll say you are I too know. And I like that you said some, not all. Because your boss will not call you an I too know. And in such environment, you're answerable to your boss, not to people. Do you know the truth? Everybody loves success, including those who cannot produce it, including those who are envious of those doing it. It's the truth. So if in your workspace, in your office, because you are excelling in task given to you, they call you Aituno, I think it's a good label. It's just the nomenclature given to you by people who love what you have achieved but wonder why they are not able to achieve it. It's just an indirect name. What really matters is who you are accountable to, your boss, your employer. What does he call you? I mean, Jesus said, "Who do men say that I am?" And they gave all kinds of names. Even though they didn't get it with their names as far as describing Jesus was concerned. But the truth was, those names they gave Jesus, they were not bad people. The names they called Jesus, they were not bad people. I too know is not a bad name, actually. It just means I too know. At least in comparison to the people around me, I know pass. That's why when you always succeed in what you do in a work environment, let me teach you how to manage success. You should know that people can easily feel intimidated by results. And whilst we should not care about people's opinion, we should also be careful not to allow the good that we do to hurt people. So allow your results to speak and not you. Yeah, those days we used to have somebody in school. Anytime he gets 10 over 10 in a class activity, he's going around the place. He will parade himself like a pageant. A fashion. He will go around. What do you get? Oh boy, this thing hard. Then somehow they'll ask him, what do you get? Say, sha, I just try, he's just using style to parade himself. Listen, when you know you succeed more than others, that's when to be quiet and allow the works to speak. Jesus said, by their fruits. It's not the tree that announces, it's the fruit. The people will get envious of you when you because first of all, you make many of them give no excuse for why they shouldn't do well what they are doing. Because with the same resources that they have access to, you've been able to do what they can do. So it's in that human nature. And those people who get envious of your success are struggling with self-worth. They have low self-worth. Because we said that self-worth is beyond success or failure. That they cannot be at home with the fact that, okay, well, I couldn't get it done, doesn't mean I'm a bad person at all. There's still some good left in me. If they can't see it that way for themselves, it's because they are low in self-worth. So what can you do to help those people? Now that it looks like your excelling seems to be getting a hold of them, maybe you can help them build self-worth. Help them realize that it doesn't change anything. The success I achieved is a success for the whole team. And whether you were not able to get it done or you were able to, you're still valuable. You still have the right to be loved. So you too can help them achieve that. Usiju says, what can someone do to himself when you keep on showing love and compassion towards people and they keep on looking down on your self-worth? Well, let's go to rule number 2 in building self-worth. Set healthy boundaries around your life. There should be a limit to how much of that love and compassion you show people. I said that the excess of everything is not good. If you show love to people and you want to help people grow and build their own self-worth and they refuse to receive it, there's nothing you can do. You have to withdraw. You have to withdraw. Let your work in people's life be based on the entrance or permission that they give you. That's about it. It's that simple. Rather focus on yourself. Don't hurt yourself to help people. No. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yes, Monia says pride is mostly in our demeanor. How do we leave people in our interactions? Do we remain humble irrespective of our achievements, knowing that our self-worth and identity is not in these externalities? Very, very wonderful point. That's true. That's true. How we interact with people matters a lot. First of all, you must live beyond your achievement. You must live apart from your accomplishments. Live apart from your achievements. I've said it before. Treat praises and criticisms the same way, right? Good. So if you are smiling because you did something good today, I hope you smile tomorrow when you do something bad. Good. So if you know you will not smile when you do something bad, don't smile when you do something good either. Carry a humble demeanor when interacting with people. Let them feel it. Humility is palpable. It can be felt. Humility is not downgrading yourself, no. It's simply suppressing accomplishments, achievements, or even actions that may make you appear louder or greater than the other people, so you can interact with people. Another way is sometimes when you tell the story of your success, share the side of your humanity that's associated with your failure too. It helps. People shouldn't see you as a Superman. Yes, sir, your explanation is satisfactory. Thank you so much. Well, I hope that is. Mr. Sazwa says, yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to give us 3 assignments. Practical assignments. I want you to take the whole of this week, think about it, and apply it to your life. Number 1, using the various signs of low self-worth, find out your current level of self-worth. Using the various signs of low self-worth as a determinant now, find out your current level of self-worth. Find out your current level of self-worth using the various signs of low self-worth to determine this. Treat praise and criticism the same way. Very true. Number 2, identify individuals around you who recognize and believe in your practice. Who recognize and believe in your practice of self-worth and do the same for themselves. Identify individuals around you who recognize and believe in your practice of self-worth and do the same for themselves. And finally, number 3, make a resolve to be consistent at what you do without seeking encouragement or validation from others. Make a resolve to be consistent at what you do without seeking encouragement or validation from others. Make a resolve to be consistent at what you do without seeking encouragement or validation from others. In addition to number 3, however, embrace appraisals or constructive criticism from others who are keenly interested in your growth. However, embrace appraisals or constructive criticism from others who are keenly interested in your growth. Make a resolve to be consistent at what you do without seeking encouragement or validation from others. However, embrace appraisals or constructive criticisms from others who are keenly interested in your growth. That's our assignment for this week. Reflect on it, think about it, practice it, do it, and see how useful it is to your very life. Once again, thank you for being a part of Mentor. This is the platform that is pro growth, self-development, and transformation, so that you can become a leader at the cutting edge of your sphere in society. Thank you for being a part of this show today. I believe you have a fantastic, wonderful, blissful, and glorious weekend ahead, and a wonderful and productive week following. Please watch this broadcast again. Let it help you meditate on the points. Allow your heart to accept corrections, accept instructions from these discussions, and see how you will experience transformation to be the best version of yourself in this season of your life. God bless you. From me and the crew here in the studio, it's bye-bye and have a lovely weekend ahead.